Araba was known throughout the palace as a rare jewel. Beautiful, soft-spoken, and unshakably loyal. Her mother, Winnie, had served the queen for 20 years, managing delicate matters with grace. When Winnie died suddenly, the queen chose Araba to continue her mother's work. Though her duties involved personal errands, travel arrangements, and managing the queen's private correspondence, Araba was no mere servant. The queen treated her like family, ensuring she attended the best schools. But Araba never let privilege turn to pride. She carried herself with quiet dignity, earning respect even from palace staff who envied her closeness to the royal family. Still, she kept to herself. No gossip, no romance, no ambition beyond serving the queen faithfully. Prince Koodi arrived at the airport to great fanfare after completing his business studies in London. His sharp suits and confident stride caused a stir, but he wasn't impressed by superficial praise. Back at the palace, he noticed Araba immediately. Not as the quiet helper from his youth, but as a poised young woman with a radiant smile. When she offered him tea in the queen's sitting room, he found himself staring a moment too long. Rather than declare his feelings, he began showing them through small deliberate actions. At a palace dinner, when she accidentally spilled water, he brushed it off kindly, taking the blame before others could whisper. When she mentioned she loved classical African literature, he personally sourced rare books for her. After she caught a cold, Koodi sent the royal physician and showed up at her door with hot soup. 3 separate times. During public events, he would find subtle excuses to walk alongside her, making protective comments like, "The crowd's too close. Stay near me." Araba noticed his kindness but assumed he was simply polite. After all, princes don't fall for palace servants. Or do they? The king had other plans. He wanted to secure the kingdom's future with a powerful alliance. His old friend Nana Bedi, one of the richest men on the west coast, had a daughter. Violet. Violet was stunning, with flawless skin, designer clothes, and an ego to match. Her favorite pastime was humiliating men who dared to court her. She had rejected chiefs, wealthy heirs, and foreign diplomats, claiming none were worthy. But her father persuaded her to meet Prince Koodi. She arrived late, dressed to impress, and greeted Koodi with a smirk. Within minutes, she insulted the palace's decor, mocked his traditional taste, and even made fun of his shoes. "This is supposed to be a future king," she said sarcastically. Koodi listened politely, then rose and excused himself. Later, he told his father firmly, "Father, I will never marry this woman. She is arrogant and heartless." The king fumed. "You speak like a child. This union is for the good of Aduman." But Koodi would not budge. What he didn't tell his father was that his heart already belonged to someone else. One warm evening, under the palace's baobab tree, Koodi finally spoke. "Araba, I've admired you for a long time. You're kind, strong, and beautiful. I want you as my wife." Araba froze. Then laughed nervously. "Your Highness, you must be joking. I'm a servant, not a princess." But Koodi proved his love in ways no one could ignore. He openly walked her to her quarters at night, ignoring palace whispers. When jealous staff insulted her, he publicly defended her, silencing them instantly. He arranged for her to accompany him to official meetings, pretending he needed her organizational skills, just to spend more time near her. He wrote her a heartfelt letter sealed with his royal crest, saying, "I will defy kingdoms to be with you." The queen noticed his growing attachment. She confronted him one evening in her private lounge. "Koodi, you know your father will be furious." "I don't care, mother. I love her." The queen studied his face, seeing determination stronger than any she'd witnessed before. "If your heart is true, I will stand by you," she said quietly. "Leave your father to me." When Violet realized that men no longer flocked to her, and worse, that the prince was in love with a mere palace servant, her pride turned to venom. "No servant will take my place," she snarled to her driver. "If the prince won't choose me, I'll make sure he loses her." She hired 2 ruthless criminals to kidnap Araba during a staged burglary in the bustling city market. They ambushed her at dusk, forcing her into a van and speeding away. Days later, a ransom note arrived at the palace. "Bring $2 million cash. No police, or she dies." Prince Koodi was shaken to his core. He began liquidating personal assets to raise the ransom. "I will give them everything. Just bring her back," he vowed. A forgotten man named John, who slept in alleyways, happened to witness the kidnapping. Intrigued, he followed the van at a distance until it reached a crumbling warehouse on the edge of the city. To his shock, he saw Violet herself step out of a sleek black SUV, speaking to the thugs. He overheard her say, "Keep her quiet. Once the prince pays, we'll remove her." John rushed to the palace to report what he'd seen. But the guards laughed in his face. "Old man, the prince has no time for your nonsense." As they pushed him away, Prince Koodi, hearing the commotion, came to the gate. "Let him speak," he ordered. John revealed everything: the hideout, the criminals, and Violet's involvement. That night, Prince Koodi handpicked trusted palace guards. Guided by John, they crept through the darkness, surrounding the warehouse. Inside, Araba was tied to a chair, bruised but unharmed. As the kidnappers argued over the ransom, Koodi and his men burst in. A fight broke out, swift, dangerous, but decisive. When one criminal tried to flee, Koodi tripped him with a rusty pipe. Cornered, the thugs confessed, "It was Violet. She paid us." The next morning, Violet was arrested outside a luxury boutique, in full view of shocked onlookers. Her father tried to pull strings, but the evidence was undeniable. The king himself ordered, "Let the law take its course. No one is above justice." Violet was sentenced to prison, her father disgraced. The king dissolved all business ties with him. As for John, the humble witness, he was rewarded beyond his dreams: a furnished home, a steady income, and a position managing one of the royal estates. Finally, seeing how far his son had gone to protect Araba, risking his life for her, the king relented. "Any woman who inspires such loyalty deserves to be a princess," he declared. The royal wedding was a grand affair. Araba walked down the aisle in regal silk, and John sat proudly in the front row as an honored guest. True love is not bound by rank or riches. Pride and arrogance destroy, but humility and courage open doors to destiny. And sometimes, the people the world ignores hold the key to your salvation. What is your takeaway from Araba and Prince Koodi's story? Share in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more content that entertains, inspire and uplift.